Hello, you guys. Let's get into the topic for this week, which is all about self pleasure. And again, this is about female sensuality. So I'll be talking and telling you more about the female side of self pleasure. So, the biggest things that I want to talk about today are, what do we have to let go of? What does it look like for a woman, right? The differences. And why is self pleasure so important, right? Because why the heck am I even talking about this? Who friggin' cares, right? So I'm going to go into that as well. So let's first kick it off with, what do we have to let go of? Everything, really, honestly, because unfortunately, society again has put so much stigma on the female, on self exploring, self pleasure, even fucking knowing our own bodies, right? So there is so much shame and feeling dirty and feeling like something's wrong with you, or feeling like I don't feel like this is a comfortable thing for me. All those things are totally normal to feel at the beginning, right? For me, I had to completely submerge myself in a very sex positive environment, which is meaning like the books I was reading, watched the people that I was talking to, right? If they were really, really just hardcore in their beliefs, that weren't the same beliefs as mine, and really just figuring out what I personally believed in and listening to what I wanted for once, right? So letting go of all that shame, letting go of all the stigma that is behind self pleasure and masturbation. Even just the word, sorry. Um, Even just the word masturbation, I think, is really like, it puts women off. It does. And so trying to build a better connection. So that is the very first thing that we have to look at, right? And that there might be some work around that you have to do. Again, like I said, I had to really submerge myself. So I suggest reaching out and being around people that have your same beliefs will be really, really helpful. Okay. And the biggest thing too is like really understanding that self pleasure for women looks very different than what it looks like for men. Is it both masturbation? Yes. But men are like rip roaring, ready to go, like I say all the time. And women are just like, well, I'm not friggin' horny all the time, so why would I masturbate, right? So there's so much more to it than that, and that's what we're going to get into. But the very beginning with this one is just really understanding it looks different, and it can be different, and it should be different, and we are different, right? And everybody's going to have their own spin on it. And so you don't need to feel that, oh well, I don't do that kind of stuff because I'm not walking around horny all the time like my partner is, right? So or maybe I don't want to give him the wrong message, like either like, oh, I am horny, like let's go have sex. It's more of like, I want to do this for myself, and that could be a mixed message to your partner. But we need to let all that go as well, because you spending time with yourself is so important, right? So we need to really look at it as, this is your time for yourself. And there's so much that you can learn. And I get that the people pleaser and the really busy house mom would much rather be like, okay, well, if I get, time for myself, I want to go out and shop, I want to go do all these things. But I suggest you rethink that, and you maybe kind of schedule in this time for yourself to learn about you, because it can make you a better mom, it can make you a better wife, it can make you a better human overall, because learning about yourself and increasing the power that you actually have changes everything in your life. And I think I've said that a couple times. So that's why this piece is really important to me. It's really important to share, and it's really important to teach. And so I suggest you, as men even, encourage your partner to spend time by herself. I know it's intriguing. I know you're like, oh wait, is she in the mood? I want to go. Let her go. Let her explore on her own, because of the reasons I'm going to talk about in just a second. But like, really encourage it. And then women, I really encourage you to start really taking this information in and exploring with it. Okay, so let's break this down in a sense of why. Like, why is self-pleasure so important? Like, why am I talking about this? So not only is self-pleasure great if you are horny, right? Fine, like, great. But there's also, we can look at it as like a learning. This is learning about your body, right? Like, this is the time that you need to figure out what you do like, figure out what toys you like. If you haven't watched the toy video, go over there after this, right? And figure out, like, what do I like? What do I like? Because the most important thing to remember is it is not fair to put your pleasure in someone else's hands, right? Like if you really think about that, this was a really hard one for me to like really grasp, because my husband and I have been together forever, and I'm thinking, God, he should just know. But when you asked me personally, like, well, what do you like? I didn't even know yet. I had no idea until I went on this journey and I figured it out, right? So how can we expect someone else to know what we like if we don't even know? So that's the very first piece. So we have to let go of the expectation that our partner needs to know, because even if he does know what usually feels good to you, I don't know about you guys, but what feels good to me one day can be completely different the next. And that is because of our anatomy, right? So depending on the time in our cycle, your cervix drops lower and lower right before your period, and then after your period it pulls and slowly moves back up. Okay, so something that felt really good deep one day may not feel good deep the next day, right? Or the next week. So learning about our anatomy is so important. So important to understand that, right? Because then you kind of can figure out, like, okay, yeah, like this time of the month this usually feels good, and this time of the month this usually feels good. And do you know how much better your partner's going to feel? Because you have been this puzzle for the longest time. Like, if they have the right pieces and they fit in correctly, like, their whole goal in life is underneath it all is to really please you. So if you're giving them the tools and you're teaching them, oh my God, it's a win-win for everybody, right? So learning your anatomy, learning what really feels good, learning what type of toys that you like, and how to use them properly, and what you like, the technique. You got to spend time. Like, it's kind of one of those things that you wouldn't leave it up to someone else to run your business if you didn't know how to run it, right? Like, if you could teach somebody, then you could walk away from your business for a while and go on vacation and trust that it's going to be ran the right way. You have to kind of, I know that's not the best analogy, but you have to kind of look at it that way, right? So that's one thing. So learning, doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter how long you've been in your relationship, start learning now. Like, it's not too late. It's not like, okay, well, like for my case, oh, I've been married for 23 years. What's the point now? It's a huge importance. Like, if you want to go the distance with your partner, like, this is important. Okay. The next thing is, I also kind of felt like I needed, and I don't know if this resonates with you guys, but I also felt like I kind of needed permission to. It was like, I don't know what I was waiting for, but it was almost like this feeling of permission that it is not shameful, it's not dirty, it's not something that is wrong for women to do. So if you need that, like I needed it, and I got it actually from the material and the books I was reading that were all written by women. Here's your permission. I give you permission to do this. This is normal. This is okay. This is the way that life should be. Okay? So there's your permission. The other big thing is it it's also figuring out how to like move energy. So like the one of the first things that I discovered is I usually am not somebody that would think to do self pleasure if I was emotional and I was upset or I was pissed or something like that. And then I discovered that I almost need it more than. And I could actually say I do need it more than, not sometimes. I do. Because this allows me to drop in to myself, and we're going to go into like a kind of the technique on what I tend to do. But if you're able to drop into your body, right? Your body, your pussy is the best listener. It's your best companion. So if we just need to feel emotion, feel the emotion. Drop in with yourself, naked, connect to your body, feel your body with no expectation of an orgasm, right? Like it may be as simple as that, like letting go of any expectation so that you don't think self pleasure is just to achieve an orgasm, right? This is more of like everything else, but you'll probably be surprised of how much easier it is to actually reach an orgasm when you don't have that expectation, right? We're able to just let go. We're able to surrender to what our bodies are asking for. So when I am super upset or angry or emotional, dropping in to my body and being with myself and just feeling the emotion, feeling my body, letting myself explore in just a very nurturing, loving way by maybe, just a simple, easy breast massage, dropping into does my pussy want to be connected? Does she want to be touched? What does she want at that moment to be very caring and loving and supportive? And what that'll allow you to do is actually move that energy out. And then it's not just stuck in your body and you're feeling shitty for the rest of the day or the next several days, right? So all these properties are like really designed to support you. And this is why I think it's like really an important topic to bring up for women, because we just don't even really look at it very often, right? So definitely moving energy. And then another absolutely incredible thing that you can do is once I started getting really, really comfortable with what I liked and exploring on my own, then I was a lot more open with my husband of like what felt good, what didn't feel good, right? Or I was just like, oh, so I played with this and this really felt good, and his eyes lit up, right? Like whatever he could do to make me feel good was the goal. So then in starting to add like self pleasures or masturbation like with your partner, and that can be just such an incredible gift for foreplay, especially for women, since we need that time, is like let's play together, and let me show you what feels good to me and you show me what feels good to you, right? Like make it not weird and not like taboo and not fucking dirty and not shameful, right? Like we have to connect in a very vulnerable space, which I'm sure you're already doing with your partner, but you're not getting, maybe you're not getting the satisfaction that you're hoping for. Maybe you're you're not connected that deeply, so then you're not craving it more and more, right? Like all these pieces have to come together the right way. So partner play is amazing. It is amazing once you start letting go of the hangups that come with it. Okay? To watch your partner in pleasure with themselves is it's a huge turn on for both men and women, right? So we have to kind of let that go and just remember you're in the privacy of your own home and you can let anything fly, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay? So let's get into why, or I'm sorry, what that might look like for you. Okay, so I wanted to kind of share my story of like what happens when I feel the need or the desire for self pleasure. Or again, maybe I'm like really emotional and upset. I'm starting to recognize that I need to take that time for myself. So the biggest things to consider is make sure that you are not on any type of time schedule, right? You want to cut out, I would say, give yourself a solid hour. If you have an hour you can cut out and you do have something planned, instead of being like, okay, well, I got to be able to check my phone or do whatever, set a timer so you can forget about the time. Otherwise, where are you going to be? The whole entire time you're going to be in your head and you're going to be worried about the time. So set a timer if you absolutely have to be on some type of schedule. Okay. The next thing is, again, remember, like, use this as the time to be able to explore and to learn and to nurture and love yourself. So do not put an expectation on that. Don't be like, okay, so today I'm going to learn how to squirt. Okay. And then if I don't squirt, then I'm never doing this again. Like, don't set yourself up for that, right? Learn. This is a learning process. So explore your body, figure out what feels good. If you have an absolutely fucking amazing squirting orgasm, great, bonus. But if you don't, you've learned something, I'm sure. So just let the expectation go. Okay. And I actually encourage that overall in general with just sex, by just like start to let go of the expectation and you'll blow your own mind how easy like getting to an orgasm actually is. Okay. So allowing yourself to have the time, because we know now as women, I've been telling you guys that we need a lot more time. So that means you need a lot more time. So give it to yourself, right? You deserve it. So then set your space up to be so seductive, right? So if that means just your bedroom, great. You don't need to have anything fancy, but if you have a candle, if you have some incense, play some really sexy music, and make sure your boundaries for the rest of your family are laid out, right? Like, make sure kids are gone, make sure husband knows, like, leave me alone for this amount of time. And maybe even be like, I might invite you in, just give me some time, otherwise I'll be downstairs. Like, allow yourself this time. You are worth it and you are a priority. Women's bodies are designed for pleasure. The woman's orgasm does nothing but give you pleasure. It doesn't produce sperm to create a baby, right? Like, this is what a man's job is. Us as women, our orgasms are just to confirm that we are alive and we deserve it and we deserve pleasure. So remember that. So giving yourself enough time, and then getting into whatever feels good to you. So for me, it starts with just this, like, little bit, I usually always start with some type of meditation. So there's several self-love meditations that you can listen to. Maybe it's just some breath work, so like really focusing on calming your breath, connecting to your womb, right? So like maybe you can get your hands on your heart, hands on your womb, like really like sink into that feeling. For me, there's a lot of really good movement that starts to come in, so just rocking the hips, creating that type of really yummy movement. And then I'll get into breast massage, feeling like how that feels good. Really connecting to this vagus nerve will start to light up and create a lot of good sexual energy. So maybe that's even starting here with just like a really nice like self massage, right? And then moving into a breast massage, working yourself down to your body, into your pussy. Maybe it's just a slight easy massage on the outside first, seeing what she wants, seeing if she wants to open up. Then from there might be this craving for just your fingers or just your hands, or it may be something that you want to look into with adding a crystal wand or any other toy that you love, right? So really allowing yourself to kind of drop into this space is really, really potent. But if we don't create the space, we don't create the time, then of course our schedules get filled up and we have no time for it, right? And then next thing you know, we're super stressed out, we're emotional, we're all these things, when really our bodies are just craving time with self pleasure. Like everybody's brains want pleasure. That's the thing. And if we don't do it in a natural, like sexual way, then we actually start to use other things that are not so natural, right? We start to try to numb things out with drugs and alcohol, or anything else that's toxic, right? So really feeling like we get to explore our bodies in a yummy, positive way only helps our connection to self, but also teaches our partner what we like, right? So let go of those hang-ups, enjoy your body for what it is, and start giving her pleasure. Okay? I promise you, there's so many breakthroughs that we can do. The other big piece that we didn't get into that I'm going to is talking about the healing properties. And so that's another big topic. There's a lot that we can learn from self-pleasure and healing. Okay, so I'll do another video just on that since this is a little long, but look forward to that, and let me know how it's going. I want to know if you're just like, oh, I broke through and I learned. I want to know if these videos are helping you. So hope you guys have a great evening, and we will see you soon.